Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawadah from GMS St. Petersburg, Florida, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahawah, Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great Millstone that taught us this truth and that ruled well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, so I want to jump into this here lesson, which was inspired by one of the brothers in the camp. I believe it's the YouTube handle is GMS AHBAD, which is the brother AHBAD. But nevertheless, this here lesson was sparked by that brother, So I want to get into this here lesson, dealing with a phrase that they have in the world, a couple phrases: get rich or die trying. We trying to get this here kingdom. You see what I'm saying? We're not trying to settle for less, more or less to say. All right. And then at the same time, another phrase is we are dying to live. All right. Right here on this here side of the earth, man, on this side right now where we at, this is our hell, man. We ain't lived a day in our life, man. All right. We not really living. All right. So we got to what? We're going to grab that in the scriptures, but nevertheless, like the phrase, we dying to live. All right. We not living to die like everybody else is. We dying to live. We never lived a day in our life. You see what I'm saying? Like actually having life, being able to enjoy anything. All right. Especially since we came over to the Americas. How many days what time frame have you known about where a man can sit there and marry his wife and sit there and enjoy his wife and their life together, not having nobody oppressing them or anything like that? How about, a man and a woman having children and being able to raise up their children in righteousness and enjoy their children? All right. Or just walk around outside and be able to breathe air and not being killed by the air, or eat food and not being able to be killed by the food, or not being oppressed and downtrodden, not have your powers, you being separated from your power, man. All these different things let us know. Look at Ezekiel 37, man, the valley of the dry bones, man. We dead over here, man. All right. So, but what? The minute of the Lord, we dying to live. All right. So let me just grab this here in the scriptures. All right. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction. So like I said, man, this is not life. This ain't living over here, man. All right. Getting up early in the morning, slaving for the goddamn so-called white man, him taking out taxes and him shitting on you all day, man. That ain't living, man. All right. Paying child support and all this stuff, being separated from your kids. All right. And not having good, healthy relationships with not just your family, your kids, your spouse or whatever, whatnot. That ain't living, man. All right. Paying taxes and tribute to the so-called white man, being shitted on all damn day by the so-called white man. That ain't living, man. This ain't life. All this shit that we got going, this is not life, man. This is not living. All right. Yeah. Our 2/3 of our people think that this is living because they so-called getting a bag or whatever, whatnot. But that's not living, man. All right. You can't do what you want to do with your money and your stuff. And this just not living, man. Like the scriptures say, this is not your rest. All right. It's polluted. It's going to destroy you, man. This whole place here is going to wind up consuming you. All right. This is the Hebrews. I think it is Hebrews. It's like, give me 1 second. Let me start from verse 9. All right. It says, Hebrews 4:9, it says, there remaineth. All right. So we just read it. This is not your rest. All right. Being here in Babylon or hell, this ain't your rest, man. This ain't life. This ain't living over here. All right. So Hebrews 4:9, it says, there remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High. All right. Like we just read, this is not your rest, but there remaineth the rest. This ain't living, but there is life coming. You see what I'm saying? You ain't living yet. This ain't life for you, man. You a fucking slave here, man. You a servant, man. You rejected it. You rejected it the Most High at this point in time. Not to say rejected. How do I put this in a better sense? Your daddy didn't put your ass in punishment in the room. He didn't give you up for adoption. I mean, he put you on punishment in the room. You see what I'm saying? So we have to go through this time frame. But this not our rest. We about to get our own rest, our own kingdom of heaven, man. We about to actually finally start living. All right. Verse 10, for he that entered into his rest, he also have ceased from his own works as Yahweh did from his. All right. So what? This not our rest where we at now is polluted. It's going to destroy us. This not our heaven. All right. This not life over here. All right. But it says he that entered into his rest has also ceased from his works. So once we start living life, we're going to stop living in this damn hell. We ain't going to be like basically in a predicament that we in now. All right. Like I was saying, like, yo, None of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans can say, since you've been over here, you've had a time where you could enjoy your wife, enjoy your kids, enjoy your life, enjoy all the things that you have, your land, your substance. You can't enjoy it, all right? Some of you might say that you enjoy it, but you really don't even realize how much the damn devil is destroying your ass, all right? You know what I'm saying? He emasculating your children, putting stuff in the food and in the water, constantly making you sicker and sicker. That's not living life, man. That's not life. You might think that you living, but you're not really living, all right? So it says, for he that entered into his rest, he also ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his. All right. So once you enter into your rest, man, you ain't got to be, you're going to be able to enjoy all your stuff, right? It's like a man building his house, man. Like he over here building up his house, whatever, whatnot. That's his house. He going to enjoy it all. Not while he building. He still got to sweat, bleed, and cry over building his house and spend time. But once he done finished painting his house and put his mailbox up and put furniture in his house, then he can go inside his house and lay down and enjoy his house that he's in. All right. Verse 11, let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall under the same example of unbelief. So like I said, once that man finished building his house, then he can go in and enjoy his house. All right. Same with us, man. Like I said, we dying to live, man. All right. Let me just grab it in the scriptures. All right. We're going to go to the book of John. This is John chapter 12, verse 23. And Yahuwah answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. All right. Now just think about that example, right? Let's say, let's take a orange, right? You got an orange on an orange tree. Yeah, it's connected to the tree. It's still living, right? Because it's connected to its life source. Obviously, it's going to get food, water, and nourishment. It's there. It's so-called living. But in order for that orange to be able to grow and thrive, it must what? First fall off, be cut from the tree, fall down to the earth, either, be eaten by an animal, whatever, whatnot, or decay to where the seeds can be exposed onto the ground. All right. Once it's exposed into the ground, it can go into the ground and be nourished, and then it can grow up. So that one orange that has fallen off the tree and died can now what? Fall into the ground, and the seed can be planted into the earth to sprout up more life for it to actually grow and thrive. You see what I'm saying? So verse 24, verily, verily, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and it dieth, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. So yeah, it's one orange that you see on a tree, but once it fall on the ground, all right, and it is withered away from its life source, and the seeds be exposed out of that one orange, you're going to get multiple seeds. Out of those multiple seeds, now you got multiple orange trees. Now it's growing, it's thriving, it's multiplying. All right. So what? Going into, let me just keep reading. Verse 25, he that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto eternal life. All right. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. So going back into verse 25, he that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto eternal life. Going back up to the example with the corn of wheat falling to the ground, or like how I put it with the orange falling off the orange tree. All right, that orange first, in order for that orange to multiply, for those seeds to take root into the ground, the orange got to first be cut off from that there tree and fall into the ground. Like the scripture said, it has to become a falling away first. All right, that falling away was what? We knew it was Israelites at one point in time. Then Psalms 83 happened. All right. The name of Israel was taken from our remembrance. We fell away. All right. But we fell away and fell into the ground, and what? We could be grown back up. You see what I'm saying? We was woken back up. All right. According to all the prophecies. But at the same time, going into us being woken back up, you have to, how do you say, be reborn. You have to let that old man die off. Right. You got to get rid of that, your old so-called life and the way that you were, the way that you was being, You might have been in this here world so-called living life, when before you wake up to this here truth, you're living in a Gentile state, getting money, doing this and doing that, so-called living life. But then you realize, you're not really living life. You see what I'm saying? Like that orange on a tree. Yeah, it's an orange on a tree, is looking nice, it's hanging, is so on and so forth. You think that that's living, you know what I'm saying? But you don't realize you're going to eventually fall off, because that's how it's ordained. All right. But then you have to kind of give that up in order for you to be able to, the orange on the tree, you got to give up that position in order for you to drop down to the ground and sprout up to be your own tree. all right, for you to be able to grow, all right, for you to be able to take root, all right. The same thing here on this side, you know, the men of the Lord is giving up their life, this so-called carnal life, all right, and going out and doing things of the so-called world so we can be planted into the ground and we can actually take root and we can actually grow up to instead of being an orange on a tree, we can now be the whole orange tree ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and bringing forth much fruit, all right, and start living our own self. You see what I'm saying? So let me read that again, verse 24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. All right, you just gonna be stuck on that tree, living that way. All right, but if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Like I said, once that orange fall off the tree, there's multiple seeds inside of it. Now that starts that process, that cycle, you know, bringing forth more fruit. All right. This is the book of Mark, chapter 8, verse 34. And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. All right. So look, if you want to follow the Lord, all right, you got to basically, I'll just read the next verse. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. All right. So just like that orange, man, you can't just be that orange on a tree forever, man. You want to grow up and be your own tree and how do you say, take root. You got to come up off of that tree, man. You got to, you know, you think you living as a nice, glorious orange on an orange tree, whatever, whatnot. But what? Hey, man, until you become an actual tree, you just, you know, fruit hanging on that there tree. You're not really living life. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have of your own. You're not really putting your own seed in the ground. And you're not really flourishing like that. All right. Same with here in the world, in the regular sense that we live in here now. Yeah, you living in America, the Golden City, whatever, whatnot. Yeah, you might have your little bit of money here and there in the bag, but that ain't really living because you ain't really calling no shots. You still in subjection under somebody else. You're not really living. You still paying taxes, and if they want, they could devalue all your money. That's not really living. All right, but what you got to so-called give up your life here and trying to so-called make it here, like the scripture said, this is not your rest. It's wholly polluted. We have to actually labor to get into our rest. So like that orange on the orange tree, you got to come up off of that there tree. You got to fall into the earth. You got to give up your life. You got to die and decay. All right. And for your seeds to be able to enter into the ground and to grow back up. All right. And bring that into this. Yo, you're going to have to give up your so-called life and going out, being with, getting the bitches, getting the money, getting the bags and all that extra high life living and stuff that everybody else is doing. You know, a lot of the men of the Lord that send us here truth, they're younger men where they're in the prime of their life. You know, I mean, hell, I know a brother that was been in this here truth since he was 18 years old, and some brothers been in here younger than that. But just imagine being in this here truth since you was 18 as a young man, you know, and as a decent, good looking man who can get all these here bitches and all the shit that, you know, a regular person here in America, regular young man in America will be looking for in America. Imagine being in that position, you know, and you know what? The Lord is more important. I need to focus on this first and foremost because I think I'm getting life with chasing women and living my so-called best life, but that's not really living, man. Let me just go ahead and put that to the side so I can labor to get this here real life. All right. Let me labor to get this here. How do you say this kingdom of heaven, more or less to say, you know what I'm saying? So going back, let me read this again. Mark 8 and 34. And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever come up after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So when you come into this, you know, you got to put off all that to the side, you know, for example, you know, going out chasing these here women, you know, on the weekends, we could be out, man. Hell, when we go and we preach it, you know, when we go and we preach on the weekends, you know, we out on the highways and the byways, man, there's nothing but a bunch of thick, big booty women walking around all damn day long. We could be chasing them women every Saturday. We just in the midst of all these damn women. But guess what? We got to, hey, man, that shit is secondary. If we wind up catching them women, we going to wind up catching them. But I mean, according to the scriptures, we're going to get them anyway. But that's not what's the first priority on our mind. The first priority on our mind is how do you say, taking up your cross, taking on this here labor that we have to labor into the kingdom of heaven, man. We labor in trying to build a kingdom of heaven. That's our first and foremost priority, building this here kingdom of heaven, waking up the sheep, you know what I'm saying, and bringing the sheep back into the fold so we can build this here kingdom of heaven and labor so we can get into our rest. All right. Shalakia. We trying to labor till we can get into our kingdom of heaven. All right. We putting everything else to the side so we can put the Most High and his work first. All right. So we can serve the Lord first. All right. Instead of going out doing all this and all that, hanging out with friends or whatever, whatnot, we so-called live the boring life for what? So we can, we gave up our so-called lives here in America. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know a brother right to this day, that then gave up his life from the age of 18 all the way up until, I believe the brother's like 27 right now, 25, 27 right now, So he then gave up a good portion of his life, you know what I'm saying, to dedicate to the Lord, instead of going out and chasing all the things that the world is giving. Hey, this brother and brothers like him, you know what I'm saying, is putting their life on the line to do what? To raise up the children of Israel, and for, a lot of these other people that's just now waking up, man, you got the men of the Lord that's out here, again, giving up their life, chasing women, chasing money, chasing fame or whatever in this here life, because, the men of the Lord that's in this truth, man, we very skilled people, man. We got, like, when you really think about it, we like the most skilled people on the planet Earth, man. All right, when you go back and, like, think about Daniel and stuff like that, these people was the highest of the highest and knowledge and wisdom and understanding of all kind of things. But what the Lord used them to use their so-called wisdom, knowledge, and understanding for what? This here, this truth. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, the men of the Lord wind up denying themselves and their traits and their skills and this and that for what? To come in and raise up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All right. So like I said, on the weekends and stuff like that, instead of us out there trying to feed our own belly, chasing these women, or even if we got women that's up on us and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? We don't have time to be dealing with them because why? This here work is way more important for us to do right now. Again, we dying to live. Yeah, I want to be with you, my old lady. I want to be with you, so on and so forth. I want to do this and that, or whatever, whatnot. But first and foremost, I got to make sure that the condition to where we're going to be at is a good condition that we in first and foremost. I don't want kids or a woman or no wife in this fucked up ass place, man. All right. I mean, yeah, I want all that, but not in this fucked up ass place. I don't want this for nobody. I want kids. You know what I'm saying? I want kids and I want a wife, but if I got to have kids into this place where they're going to teach them about being homosexuals and stuff like that, that's not no life for them. All right. Again, that's why I'm saying, look, we dying to live because this life that we so-called living it's not living. This ain't your rest, man. It's polluted. It's going to destroy you, man. All right. So what we over here, we right now, we dying to live, man. This is why we doing all this. All right. First and foremost, we fear the Most High. All right. And this is what his will is, what he called us to do. All right. But then ultimately, you know what I'm saying? When we say, we doing this for so-called selfish reasons, we kind of doing a little bit of this for our own self as well, so we can get salvation and we can get the kingdom of heaven. And man, we laboring for the kingdom of heaven as well. We dying to live. We doing this so that we can have a part of life as well too, man. All right. So it says, verse 35, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it. All right. So if you want to live, you got to give up this here life on this side, man. Again, we dying to live, man. You know what I'm saying? We giving up our so-called life and chasing women, money, cars, clothes, fame, and all that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? We giving all of that up for what? So that we can live in righteousness, live under YAHAWASHI, so we can live in the kingdom of heaven. All right, be a part of the first fruits. All right. And not just that, man, we giving up our life so that not just that we can live, but for the elect, 144,000 and the 1/3, so that they can live. You know what I'm saying? We sacrificing our life and our time and the things that we doing to go out there and feed the rest of the children of Israel. All right. So it says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it. So you want to so-called in this here society, in this here life, you want to go get the bag, get the money so you can so-called prop up your life. All right. For instance, you got, the Bill Cosby's, the R. Kelly's and all these people. Not saying that this is why they did the things that they wound up doing, but let's say, any of these celebrities or whatever, whatnot, that got the so-called money and this and that. They be like, well, I did this so I could feed my family and so on and so forth, especially like in the hip hop music and all that stuff where they get blackmailed. Like, well, I had to make these sacrifices so that my family could eat. But at the end of the day, man, that life is destroyed. You see, prime example, Bill Cosby, all the so-called good that he wound up doing in the face of the media and all these different things was all tainted by what? You know what I'm saying? He wound up losing his life unto the damn devil. And now he thought he was gaining his life, but he wound up losing his whole life. All the stuff that he worked for, that good name, was all tarnished. You see what I'm saying? Same with all these other celebrities and so on and so forth. But what? We losing our so-called name and our life, a good name and a life on this side to the world that we can gain it in the sight of the Most High. All right. Nevertheless, it says, whosoever shall save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel, the same shall save it. So again, people call us, oh, y'all some low lives. Y'all ain't got no lives. Y'all a bunch of bums. Y'all ain't got no jobs. Y'all hate women. Y'all ain't got no women. People say all kind of shit about us, man. All kind of shit about us, man. We highly hated amongst our people and things like that. And it's not an easy thing to bear. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy thing to be walked around and having people look at you like you ain't shit or that you just scum of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Or you terrorists, or you a cult and all these things, you rapists, you pedophiles. There's so many names people call us. You know what I'm saying? All these different things. But what? Hey man, that's our burden, man. That's the cross that we gotta wind up taking, man. It's just like YAHAWASHI, man. They was mocking him, plucking out his beard, mocking him, bowing down into him, and all kind of fuck shit that they was doing to him. But what? At the end of the day, he was laboring that we could get our rest, man. He went through all those things. So how much more what we gonna go through? You know what I'm saying? We dying to live, man. We giving up our life. You know what I'm saying? We getting beat by many stripes, taking all this, and we taking all this. Yeah, I know our own people hate us. Yeah, I know, our own parents, our own loved ones is going to be the ones that sell us out and call us in. Yeah, I know our people hate us because, the spirit that we have is contrary to the spirit that they have, and all this different shit, man. You living in a household with your own family that's just belittling you and treating you like you ain't shit, man. We the male version of Cinderella, man. You see them saying like, yo, we got everybody in the household treating us like we ain't shit, but at the end of the day, we got the foot that fit that glass slipper, more or less to say. You know what I'm saying? The Most High put that his seal and his name in our foreheads. All right, he raised us up. We the one that the shoe gonna fit. You see what I'm saying? But everybody else is over here shitting on us the whole time. But yet, you know what I'm saying? We, again, like Cinderella, yeah, I guess while my sisters or whatever, in this sense, they was sisters. But while my sisters out there partying and living a good life and getting all this and that, I'm in the house slaving and this and that. But yet and still, what? Hey, the Most High got us set up to wind up reigning and outshining everybody else while they over here living their life and this and that. And we just a so-called servant and doing all this and that. You don't realize that our foot is the one that fit that magical glass slipper, all right? Or put it to you this way, in a man's perspective, our head is the head that fits that damn crown that the Most High is about to start giving out, all right? And our ass and our body is the one that fit in those thrones that He has prepared for us, all right? So continuing on here, it says, verse 35 again, for whosoever shall save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, all right, the same shall save it. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world but lose his own soul? All right. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? All right. Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and for my words in this adulterous, sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with all his holy angels. So again, we didn't gave up our life. We dying to live. We forsaken all the so-called things that, so-called amount up to living in this here society according to the rest of the world. Oh, bro, you ain't got this, you ain't got that, y'all ain't living, and y'all ain't got this and y'all lame, y'all this and that, you ain't on this and you ain't on that. Bro, I'm not worried about that, right? That's not the most important thing to me in this here world, man. The most important thing to me in this here world right now is serving YAHAWASHI and doing His will. All right, whatever He called forth, that's the most important thing for me right now. Because look, I'm trying to save my life by giving up my life and serving the Lord. But you over here trying to so-called gain a life and, man, I'm trying to get another million, another billion. And like, for example, Jay-Z, right? Bro got like damn near $1 billion. They be bragging about that. They like the first billionaire couple. Well, not to say first, but they a billionaire couple. Jay-Z at like 900 something million plus Beyonce. I forgot, she between 300 and 500 million. But why are you motherfuckers still working? Y'all got so much money. Why y'all still striving? Y'all see, you so-called still trying to live life. You still trying to build up so you can live life. You're not enjoying life. You're not even living life. You see what I'm saying? But you think you laboring to get into your rest, but you don't realize that what? All this money about to be devalued. You still looked upon as a nigga from the so-called white man. You still in captivity under him. He's still controlling you. All right. But we actually giving up our life and giving up that so-called path that they taken, that we might inherit real life, eternal life. All right. Salakia. Let me grab another preset. This is the book of John, chapter 5. Man, I'm gonna just read 5 and 24 and 25. John 5 and 24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. See what I mean? We dying to live. All right. He that believeth on him that sent me. All right. Believing these words, believing YAHAWASHI. All right. And that always goes all the way up into including what? Like the scriptures say, man, you got the old man must perish first. You got to be baptized, reborn again. Man, you got to give up this here old life, man. All right. You got to, and not to say, oh man, you got to go put your house up for sale, your car up for sale. Nah, man, it's your love for these types of things, man. You living to the only reason you going to work is so you can get a bigger house, a nicer car, better clothes, and all this and that. Nah, man. You see what I'm saying? We doing the exact same thing, you know, for the exact same reasons, but from a different source. You labor, you know, you get up and you go to work, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be going to work because you still got to put a roof over your head. But, you know, you have some people, majority of our people, they go into work to so-called get this here bag to shine on everybody else. It's not that you going to work to get a car, you know what I'm saying, for transportation means that it's nothing wicked about that. But you going to work to get this here car that look better than everybody else's car, to be shining and stunting on them, just so you can feel like you're in a better position in this here world. All right. You laboring for a rest and to enjoy this here kingdom right here, right now. But what we laboring for what? It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth the word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. This whole place over here about to get turned into the lake of fire, man. Destruction. All right. And your dollar is going to be devalued over here. So you think that you living now, like I said, Jay-Z and them think that they living now, but you're going to be passed from your so-called life here onto death. All right. Eternal death. All right. But what we going, like I said, we how you say, we dying to live. All right. We basically laboring into our rest. We trying to build up that kingdom of heaven. All right. I don't know if I had grabbed that or not. It was Hebrews. Let me grab that real quick. I'm not sure if I grabbed this or not, but let me grab it again anyway. Oh, no. This is Hebrews chapter 4, verse 9. It says, there remaineth a rest unto the people of the Most High. For he that is entered into his own rest have ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his. I did actually read this. Verse 11. Let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall under the same example of unbelief. So again, we have to put forth some kind of work to labor that we get into this here rest. We got to, again, like the scripture say, give up our life that we might gain life. All right. So let me see. I done lost my spot here for a second. Let me get back to where was that? Slovakia. This is John chapter 6 and verse 40. And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which seeth the Son of Man believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day. So going into what? Laboring into this here rest, all right? Believing on the scriptures, believing on YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH, you know, in all the scriptures that's written, you know, giving your life up for him, you know, he that giveth up his life, you know what I'm saying, shall be the same that save his life. All right. But it says, and this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up in that last day. So what? We over here, if you're going to have everlasting life starting at the last day, what are we doing? We dying to live, man. That's what we out here on the highways and the byways and in these video epistles and putting it in this here work, man. When we over here praying and crying out to the Most High that, you know, that he'll deliver us up out of this fucking hellhole, Babylon the Great, you know what I'm saying? And that he'll, you know, save us from all, you know, our enemies and things like that, man. What are we doing? We dying to live. We crying out for life, man. All right. Let me grab my next precept. This is Matthew 19 and 28. And Yahawashi said unto them, hold on. Matthew 19 and 27. And Peter said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? All right. So what Peter's saying, look, man, we gave up our whole life for you, bro. What we gonna get in return? You know what I'm saying? Like I keep saying, we dying to live. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, we dying to live. You giving up your whole life just for life. So if I give up my whole life just to live, what am I going to get? What does life really consist of? All right. And so you got to think about, what are we giving up on this here side? Because we're not really like committing suicide just so we can have life. No, we talking about you dying carnally, you dying from this carnal life. Again, you stop chasing, not to say you stop chasing women or whatever, there's nothing really wrong with that, but that's not your first priority. You see them, like, again, prime example, we go on the highways and the byways on the weekends. You know, that's a day everybody's out on the weekends, going out having fun. But what do we set for our Saturdays to do? We have that day reserved for what? To go out there and preach the word of the Lord, you know, to go in and raise up the children of Israel, all right, to go prophesy, to go work for the Most High, man. So on a day that's prime for most of these Americans out here to go out and go mingle with each other, you know, eat, drink, and marry one another and all these things, giving into marriage. What are we out there doing? All right, we bidding back the lost sheep of Israel back into the most high. We bidding them to the marriage. All right, we laboring into that rest. All right. So it says, and YAHAWASHI said unto them, verily I say unto you, that which have followed me in the regeneration, all right, or how you would say reincarnation, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, you shall also sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, so right now you already a peasant, you a servant right now, you a goddamn slave right now, all right, but you think that this is life, all right, but the Lord's saying, look, you go ahead and give up your life, all right, and stop trying with that bullshit that y'all in now. You're gonna wind up actually you know, in the kingdom of heaven, you're going to wind up sitting on the throne. You're not going to be a peasant no more. You think that that's life where you live in. I'm going to show you real life. You're going to actually be a ruler. You're going to be a king. All right. Then you're going to be casting out judgments. All right. But not, you know, but you think that you living right now. You think you're a boss right now. You got a bag or whatever, whatnot, but you're not really doing nothing. You see what I'm saying? You're still a servant under the so-called white man. He's sitting on the throne. He the one can cast out judgment on your ass. That's why they say, oh, you know, carnally, black people can't be racist because we don't have power or authority to be able to do these types of things, tell you where to live and this and that, and put certain things on you. And true enough, you know, but like I said, like Jay-Z, he think that he's sitting on the throne right now. He think he a boss, but you really not a boss, man. Look at Bill Cosby. They can take all your money away from you and do all these different things to you like they want. That's not really living. All right. So it says, let me read this all the way through verse 27. And Peter said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and have followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And YAHAWASHI said unto them, verily I say unto you, that which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that has forsaken houses, so all the ones that gave up their life, all right, and these are things that's in their life that they wind up giving up, you know, they wind up losing their life or dying to live. All right. And everyone that forsaken houses, brethren, or sister, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands. All right. Not saying that you hate them, but again, you know, you putting this here word first. You know, you might have a wife or something like that might want to go out and go to a family cookout or something on Saturday or some crazy shit like that. I'm not saying that's even crazy. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Or you might have a kid that's got a baseball game or a football game you got to go to or whatever, whatnot. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, and let's just say you have Saturdays reserved as your day that you want to go out and preach the word, right? Well, you know, yeah, you love your wife and your kids or whatever, whatnot. But what's more important? The more important thing is that you can go out and do the Lord's work first and foremost. All right. Because what the Lord can sit here and like we just read in the regeneration or in the kingdom of heaven, he can give you all this and then some. But your kids, your wife, they can't bring you to the Lord. You see what I'm saying? They can't. Once you get separated from the Lord, they can't bring you back. You see what I'm saying? But the Lord can, once your wife or your kids or whatever, whatnot, once they wind up, you know, losing their life or wind up dying or whatever, whatnot, the Lord can put life back into them. All right. Or, you know, you might lose them on this side. And even if you lose a wife or some kids on this side, man, just know that you got them in wickedness anyway. They're not really right at this point in time anyway. But when we get into the kingdom of heaven, let me just read it on through. Verse 29, and everyone has forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake, all right, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. Meaning that our first shall be last and the last shall be first. So what, we the last, we at the bottom of the barrel right now. Everybody looking at us like we ain't got this and we ain't got that. And, you know, some of us actually do have some of the things that's comparable to what they talking about. But you know what I'm saying? But, you know, what the things that we put first and foremost, you know, you have, hell, just getting into a lot of different topics and things like that. You know, you could think about, you know, like a lot of these women, they don't want to deal with us because of what our mindsets first and foremost. They have a lot of this liberty right now and they don't want to come back to this law, statutes, commandments. Just a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? People just see us on the highways and the byways and they just look at us like we ain't got shit. Like we don't got jobs. We don't got money. We don't got all these different things. But what? Hey, the Most High said, or YAHAWASHI here said, you know, basically we forsake all these different things in the kingdom, we're going to wind up getting this thing 100-fold. All right. And we're going to inherit everlasting life. Again, we dying to live, man. So what good is having a wife here in this polluted ass kingdom? All right. Or what good is having kids here in this polluted ass kingdom? Not saying it's wicked to have a wife or kids, but I'm just saying, like, you know, and if you do have a wife or if you do have kids and things like that, and it's the truth, you can understand why it's polluted here, why things is all fucked up here. You know, you got to send your kid to school and they got to vaccinate your kid. You know what I'm saying? They teaching your kid how to have safe anal sex in the 3rd grade. You see what I'm saying? That's all defiled. That's not really living, man. But guess what? We laboring that we gonna enter into this here rest, and the Lord gonna give it back to us 100-fold. Or for the brothers that don't have wives and don't have kids, because for one, they already understand, like, yo, this ain't our rest, bro. Like I can't even enjoy my kids over here on this side. Like, this ain't even gonna be life for them. I can't even really enjoy and just spend time with my kids and my wife and my family like I want to. But what the Lord say in the kingdom of heaven, bro, this all you gonna be doing. You just gonna be enjoying life, man. You're going to just be living it up. You, your wife, your kids and all that. You're going to receive this 100-fold. Not only are you going to get your kid, you're going to get the kids that you always wanted, or get your kids back, or your wife and your women that you always wanted. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have this 100-fold, man. Not, again, for example, not only are you going to have your kids, but you're going to have your kids in the kingdom of heaven. They're not going to want for nothing. They're not going to be, you know, you're not going to have no kids and y'all ain't going to be getting evicted, eating ramen noodles at the end of the night. No, man. You're going to have kids and you're going to be able to show them the glory and the power of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, and all the wonders that he set forth for us to enjoy this whole planet Earth. All right. You're going to really, really be living, man. All right. It says, and everyone that has forsaken houses, brother and sister, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. And that's what we laboring for, everlasting life, man. We dying to actually live. We ain't been living on this planet Earth since, for all the times that we've been separated from the Most High, which has been the majority of the time, and been in captivity, that ain't living. All right. Go back to Ezekiel 37. We the valley of the dry bones. We dead. We decayed. All right. But what the Lord right now, he's actively putting that life back up into us. All right. And we laboring to get our rest. We laboring to get into the kingdom of heaven. All right. So when we get into the kingdom of heaven, we can receive actual life. All right. And life more everlasting. All right. It says, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. All right. And right now, you know, the people, especially 2/3 of our people right now, they so-called living it up. They the head of our you know, our so-called nations right now in the carnal sense, looking out like, damn, they the ones winning while we the ones losing. They look at us like bums and everything else like that. But guess what? Hey, man, we're going to be the first fruits, man. That like the scripture say, 2/3 going to be cut off. But, you know, the 1/3 going to be brought through the fire. The elect going to be saved, man. We're going to be the one being the first fruits on this side. We laboring to get in our rest, man. We dying to live, man. We giving up our whole life just so we can have life. You see what I'm saying? I'm giving up everything just that I might be able to make it on the other side. You know what I'm saying? This is Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, a world without end. All right. And that's, you know, that's something heavy I want to push out, you know, especially to the men of the Lord that's out here laboring, going through this here hill. You know, the devil's really turning up on us right now. You know what I'm saying? And we catching a lot of hell, but it's not for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You actually fighting a real fight, man. You putting brick by brick by brick by brick the kingdom of heaven, man. You slowly but surely building the kingdom of heaven, man. First and foremost, you putting the spirit out there. All right, that's going to raise up the rest of these people. You putting a mindset into these people. All right, and you showing the people straight wickedness and evil and all these different things, pointing it out in the so-called white man and all these different things of why we need the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, you men of the Lord that's out there laboring and pushing to get into this, and you giving up your life, man. That's like the damn near ultimate sacrifice. Hey, man, what better love is it than for a friend to lay down his life for another friend, man? All right, now just think about that. Yo, that's my best friend Tommy or whatever, and I'll die for my niggas and shit like that. Hey, that's a real deep thing to do, you know, to die for one of your homies and shit like that. That's some real deep shit. How much more dying for somebody that you don't even know? You see what I'm saying? But you know that they like your brethren, more or less to say. You see what I'm saying? Think about the labor that the men of the Lord are out there doing right now, you know? Like, shit, there's only a couple of my actual subscribers that I actually know these people, like actually know these people, you know what I'm saying? I actually like, and these people are the people that I'm in the camp with, you know what I'm saying? Like the brothers that's actually in the same camp that I'm in and stuff like that. Those are the only brothers that I actually you know what I'm saying, that's probably watching my videos that I actually know. Like, yo, I actually know this brother. I can actually talk to this brother, touch this brother, and so on and so forth. Like, I know these brothers for real, for real. But all the other subscribers and the people that listen to my videos, and same with the other brothers and the people that listen to their videos, you know, they got thousands and thousands of viewers or subscribers and stuff like that, you know. Hey, man, these brothers are laboring for y'all. You know, you're being fed, and you being lifted up, built up, and all these different things, man. But these brothers are going in, doing all this studying and reading and watching the prophecies come to pass. And not only that, for all the work that they doing, they catching major hell from the damn devil, man. The devil is working on the men of the Lord harder than anybody else, because why? They're the main threat, all right? Because they're the ones waking up the children of Israel, all right? So they're the ones catching the most hell from the damn devil, catching most hell in this here world. You see what I'm saying? Their whole life is all fucked up. You see what I'm saying? But what, they laboring, they putting down, they not only, they how do I say, they putting off their own life, you know what I'm saying? They laying down their own life for basically a friend, you know what I'm saying? But not just a friend that you know, also friends that you don't even know, all right? Really for the Lord as well too, because it's his sheep. The sheep belong to the Lord, you see what I'm saying? But you doing this for your friend, you know what I'm saying? You taking care of his sheep, you see what I'm saying? And what, he gonna reward you for all these things, all right? So it says, verse 17, Isaiah 45:17, but Israel shall be saved in Yahawah with an everlasting salvation. You should not be ashamed nor confounded, a world without end. So like I said, we dying to live, man. And we're not just dying just to die at the end of the day anyway. Like, y'all wasted your whole life. Y'all just gave up your life for nothing. You gonna, whatever. Man, the Most High not gonna leave us out there like that, man. And man, we standing up, we standing up with great boldness, all right, in the face of those that afflicted us. And we glorifying the name of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man. We putting that name forth back into the earth, man. We standing up for the Lord in times and days when nobody else want to stand for the Lord. Nobody else is standing for the Lord, but what? The men of the Lord are standing for the Lord in righteousness against all adversity, against everybody that's coming up against us, our own people, the so-called white man. Yo, do you not realize that we know that we goddamn public enemy number one? The so-called white man got us on a list that he about to come in and put us in these goddamn concentration camps and Guantanamo Bay type of shit and torture us. We know these things. We understand that these things is coming, man. We know that we the number one target of these things, but guess what? Hey, man. We dying to live, man. If this is what it's got to take for us to get this kingdom of heaven, man. And if this is how do I say, one way that we could show that we, how do I say, that we appreciate what the Lord has given to us. This is the least that we can do. The least we can do is do his will. You see what I'm saying? He about to come back and repay us with all these blessings. The least we can do is serve the Lord. You see what I'm saying? He about to give us everything, man. We giving up our life so that we can live. You know what I'm saying? We making the ultimate sacrifice. All right. Just like in anything else, you know, you make sacrifices all the damn time. You know, man, I want to drive this nice ass, this new Bentley coupe. Well, you got to sacrifice, you know, a whole lot of money and a whole lot of work, whatever, whatnot. And you willing to give that up just so you can ride in that nice car. Well, we willing to give up our whole life and basically, you know, being tormented and tortured by the goddamn devil all the goddamn time so that we can live, so that we can have life. You see what I'm saying? We giving this all up for what? Eternal life. All right. A world without end. All right. Let me read that again. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahawah with an everlasting salvation. He shall not be ashamed nor confounded, a world without end. For thus saith Yahawah that created the heavens, the Most High himself that formed the earth and made it. He established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yahawah and there's none else. So just as a side topic, what the so-called white man, first of all, the so-called white man is in control of the whole earth right now. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Now, the so-called white man got the earth. Now, what is he doing with the earth? He's destroying the earth, killing the earth, and killing off all the people on the earth. But guess what? The Most High said, and you think you living here up under the so-called white man, but that's not life. You see what I'm saying? We giving up our life that we can live, so we can have, we dying for day one, a breath of fresh air. All right. It says, thus saith Yahawah that created the heavens. The Most High himself formed the earth and made it. All right. So the Most High created the earth, not the Big Bang. He established it. All right. He set it in order. He created it not in vain. All right. So he made it not just for whatever reason. There's a purpose. All right. He formed it to be inhabited. Right. So the planet was made for people to live on, to dwell on it. But the so-called white man trying to kill everybody. Right. It says, I am Yahawah and there's none else. All right. Just as a little side note, man. Let me grab my next precept and we can close out. Oh, hold on. Before I grab that, there was a, let me grab that real quick. That just came to mind. I keep referring to it. Ezekiel 37 and 11. No. Yeah. Well, let me start at verse 9. Ezekiel 37:9. Thus then he saith unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say unto the wind, thus saith Yahweh power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live. All right. Now, let me just read it through. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came unto them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. Then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, our hope is lost, we are cut off of our parts. Now, anybody so-called in the right state of mind, not even saying you in the truth, but if you got some kind of sanity, you're looking around saying, God damn, we as a people, we destroyed, we fucked up, there's no coming back for us, we are gone, right? That's literally the state that the nation, the children of Israel are in, you know, all 12 tribes, man. We all fucked up. We fucked up beyond repair, man, especially the tribe of Judah, man. So-called Negroes, the so-called black man, we so far fucked up, man. We far beyond dead, all right? Not only are we dead and we at the damn funeral seeing this motherfucker with all the makeup on and shit. No, this nigga been dead for hundreds of years. Your goddamn body done been decayed. The worms and ate all the shit. The worms and even ate the casket that you was in. That's how fucked up we are, right? But the Most High is talking about, well, look, you the valley of the dry bones. You that fucked up. But guess what? I'm about to blow this here breath upon you, right? Then there stood up that exceedingly great army, which is what? The 144,000, the men of the Lord, all right? But then it says, verse 11, then say unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried and our hope is lost. We are cut off of our parts. So we already dead, right? So what? We dying to live because we ain't never lived before. We ain't never lived a day in our life. We fucked up, man. This ain't really living, man. Some of our people saying, hey, I got the new Camaro, the new Charger, whatever, whatnot. A couple months, they'll be repossessing that shit. That ain't really living. You see what I'm saying? Or you do got it, but your goddamn car payment costs damn near more than what some people paying in rent. You see what I'm saying? And eventually you're going to wind up losing all of that. Or you got this so-called job, this so-called nice job, but they working you like a slave, and then they're going to eventually fire your ass, and you're going to wind up being left with nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not really living what you think you got, man. But what? The Lord is raising us back up, man, so that we can have life, all right? And not just life, everlasting life and righteousness. Let me grab another precept real quick before I close out with that. That's not what I wanted. This Isaiah 60. Oh shit. This Isaiah 60 started verse 18. Violence shall be no more heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction in thy borders, and thou shalt be called the walls of salvation and thy gates praised. You know what I'm saying? You might be so-called well off as Jake, but guess what? You got in your neighborhoods people still breaking into your houses and things like that. Not just your neighborhoods, but the so-called black community. Hell, you could be Jay-Z, right? Living all good in a mansion. You ain't even living in the hood. But guess what? Kanye said, even though you in the Benz, you still a nigga in the coupe. You see what I'm saying? They still treat you the same way. Chris Rock said, as much money as I got, everybody know me, this and that. I'm a so-called household name. I still get pulled over in my own neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? T.I. wound up getting arrested for checking the damn guard at the at his community gate. He's like, yo, man, I'm checking you because you in here sleeping. And not only that, I'm paying you to be up and be vigilant and be watching to make sure you protect, the neighborhood that I live in, and not only the neighborhood, but my house and my family that I'm in, right? And you over here sleeping on the job, and I'm paying you for this, and you put my family in danger, and then the police get called, and I go to jail for this. I didn't put in all this here work to become the so-called rapper, to do things legitimate, and I done bought a house legitimately, and all this and that, but then this is going on, and I still get arrested. I ain't even did nothing fucked up, and I'm telling you, the homeboy sleeping on the job, but he's supposed to be protecting something. Somebody could have came up here and killed my wife and kids, but guess what? You still go to jail, because again, at the same time, you still a nigga in a goddamn Edomite kingdom, more or less to say. You see what I'm saying? Like, you still an Israelite in the Edomite kingdom, all right? So it says, violence shall be no more heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt be called the walls of salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but Yahawah shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy power thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, neither shall the moon withdraw itself, for Yahawah shall be thy everlasting light, and the day of thy mourning shall be ended. All right. So we ain't gonna be over here praying to the Most High, oh God, help us out, and this, and that. Nah, man. Anytime that we're gonna be coming to the Most High, the only thing we basically gonna be saying to him is, you know, call halal YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. All praises unto YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI, you know. Thy people shall all be righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my plant and the work of my hand, that I might be glorified. All right. So what? We dying to live, that we gonna inherit the land forever. All right. It says, thy people also shall be all righteous, and also that all of our people shall be righteous. That's what we laboring for. Yeah, you can have you a so-called wife here and some so-called kids here, but what? They're not going to be so-called right. Now, you might have some kids that's so-called righteous and a wife that's so-called righteous. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, they susceptible to the damn demonic forces that's out here, you know. Your wife could be persuaded by the so-called white man in some kind of way, or another man. Your kids could be persuaded by the school system and so on and so forth, all these different things. But guess what? When we get into the kingdom of heaven, we're going to all be righteous. There's not going to be no going off, all right? The Most High going to program us to be righteous, all right? We about to be living a real life. We never going to go off. We never going to be catching no hell, no punishments, no none of that, because we're going to always be righteous. All right. The Most High is going to program that into us. That's that new covenant. He's going to write his law, statutes, commandments inside our inward parts. We're going to be programmed to just be right. All right. Verse 22. A little one shall become a thousand, and a small one a strong nation. YAHWAH has hastened it in this time. So again, that's living life, man. You having kids over here on this side, but what? That's, you know, more and more child support or a burden to have kids on this side of the, you know, on this side. You got to vaccinate them, send them to school with the doctrines that they teaching them. You might have to pay child support on them, whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You got to just labor for some kids. It's not really, you know, you having kids, you can't really enjoy your kids here. But what? Here it says a little one should become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. YAHWAH will hasten in this time. All right. A little one would be what? Basically like just a really, like, say for instance, is all of us being so-called Americans, right? I would basically be a little one comparably to like the Donald Trumps, the Jay-Z's and whatever, whatnot. You don't hear my goddamn name on the news and the TV and no shit like that. But you hear about people know Donald Trump and shit like that. But what? A little one gonna become shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. So we're gonna be multiplying and having kids to the point that we're gonna act, and also being able to enjoy our kids. All right, we're gonna actually be living life soon. All right. So I'm gonna close out with this in Revelation 20. It's like it. Revelation 21:3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them, and their power. And the Most High shall wipe away all their tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, and I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of water of life freely. And he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son. All right. So that's what we ultimately doing. We ultimately laboring for this here rest. We ultimately laboring for life. We ultimately laboring to actually live a day in the sight of the Most High in righteousness, man, because it's not really living, man, where we at. All right. So, you know, I just wanted to put that out there as a, you know, as something to, you know, not just to boost the brothers that's out here, laboring and put in this here work, but what? Also the other people that's watching us and seeing the things that we doing, man. This is a mighty task that we got at hand, man. And this is a real labor of love, man. We laying down our life, not only for the sheep that we don't even know, but we doing it for our own self, that we can all enter into this here rest, so we can have this here kingdom of heaven, man. All right. So this is a how do I say, a great labor of love, man. All right. We spiritually, we dying to live, you know, literally that's what the scripture is talking about. You got to cast away the old man, you know, but nevertheless, you know, Lord willing, I'm gonna just go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal YAHWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, RAKAKWADASH. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that ruled well. And a true and real salutation and much love for you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. All right. And enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. You know, and I put that stress on there because why? We dying to live. All right. With that, I say stay strong and shalom.